Hello students, in previous lecture we studied effective atomic number rule and calculation of effective atomic number. We also completed stereoisomers and its types, geometrical and optical isomers. Today we will study about structural isomers. These structural isomers are also called as constitutional isomers. These isomers have same chemical formula, but they possess different linkages among their constituent atoms. These isomers can be classified as linkage isomers, ionization isomers, coordination isomers, and solvent isomers. First, we study about linkage isomers. When the ligand has two different donor atoms, linkage isomers are formed. It coordinates to the metal via different donor atoms. For example, CO NH3 5 times NO2 square bracket 2 plus ions, and another one is CO NH3 5 times ONO 2 plus ions. In both these cases, look at the figure. Nitro complex has CON linkage in first case, while in second case nitrito complex link through COO bond. As here linkage takes place by different atoms, they are called as linkage isomers. Second one is ionization isomers. In this case, there is exchange of ligands between coordination and ionization pairs. For example, CO NH3 5 times SO4 and outside the bracket there is Br, and in second one CO NH3 5 times Br and outside the bracket SO4. Here SO4 2 minus ions is bonded to cobalt in coordination pair, while Br minus is in the ionization pair in first case, and in second case Br minus is in coordination pair while SO4 2 minus is in ionization pair. These complexes in solution ionize to give different ions, CONH3 5SO4 plus ion and Br minus ion, while second compound gives CONH3 5 times Br 2 plus ion and SO4 2 minus ions. Thus, these both complexes are ionization isomers. Third type is coordination isomers. In this case, there is interchange of ligands between cationic and anionic pairs of different metal ions. For example, look at the structures of CONH36 and CrCN6. In second case, CrNH36 and COCN6. By observing the structure, we come to know that in first case, CONH36 is cationic and CrCN6 is anionic, while in second case, CrNH36 is cationic and COCN6 is anionic. Here, cobalt is linked to amine and chromium is linked to cyanide in first case. In second case, chromium coordinates with amine and cobalt is linked with cyanide ligand. As both ligands are interchanged, therefore these isomers are called as coordination isomers. Now, next isomer is solvent isomers. These isomers are also called as hydrate isomers when water is solvent. These are similar to ionization isomers. For example, H2O6 and outside the bracket there is Cl3. In second case, CrH2O5 times Cl and outside the bracket Cl2H2O. In first case, water is directly bonded to chromium, and in second case, H2O appears as free solvent molecule, and therefore these are called as solvate isomers. Now we will study about stability of the coordination compounds. The stability of coordination compounds can be explained by knowing their stability constants. The stability is governed by metal-ligand interactions. We know that ligand acts as Lewis base, that is electron donor, while central metal atom or ion acts as Lewis acid, that is electron pair acceptor. Similar to Lewis acid Lewis base interaction, there is interaction between central metal atom and ligand. Stronger the interaction, greater is stability of the complex. For example, as the equilibrium for central metal and ligand interactions are given as M plus L in equilibrium give rise to Ml. Look at the example. For this, stability constant K1 is equal to concentration of Ml divided by concentration of metal into concentration of ligand. Ml plus L in equilibrium give rise to Ml2. Here stability constant K2 is equal to concentration of Ml2 divided by concentration of Ml into concentration of L. And when Ml2 plus L is in equilibrium to give Ml3, then stability constant K3 is equal to concentration of Ml3 divided by concentration of Ml2 into concentration of L. Now observe the example, and therefore we come to know that when Ml n minus 1 times plus L is in equilibrium to give Mln, therefore stability constant Kn is equal to concentration of Mln divided by concentration of Mln minus 1 times into concentration of L. Here these stability constants K1, K2, K3 and Kn are stepwise stability constants. Now, higher the value of K, larger is stability. For example, Ag plus 2Cn minus give rise to AgCN2 minus ion, where K is equal to 5.5 into 10 raised to 18. Second example is Cu2 plus 4Cn is in equilibrium gives CuCN4 times 2 minus ion. Its stability constant is 2 into 10 raised to 27. And in third case, CO3 plus ion plus 6NH3 is in equilibrium gives CONH3 6 times 3 plus ion. Its stability constant is K is equal to 5 into 10 raised to 33. Now from the above three examples, it is clear that CONH3 6 times 3 plus ion is more stable than AgCN2 minus ion and CuCN4 2 minus ions, while AgCN2 minus ion is least stable. Next to this, we will study about factors which govern or which affect the stability of the complexes. Stability of a complex is governed by two factors: charge to size ratio of the metal ion and nature of the ligand. Now we will study first factor, charge to size ratio of the metal ion. Higher the charge to size ratio, greater is the stability. Now the charge density is a ratio of the magnitude of the charge and the radius of the metal ion. And therefore, higher the charge density, greater is the stability. For the divalent metal ion complexes, their stability is in the order Cu2 plus is greater than Ni2 plus, which is greater than CO2 plus, greater than Fe2 plus, greater than Mn2 plus, greater than Cd2 plus. In this series, both Cu2 plus and Cd2 plus have same charge, which is plus 2. However, the ionic radius of Cu2 plus is 69 picometer and that of Cd2 plus is 97 picometer. Thereby, charge to size ratio of Cu2 plus is greater than Cd2 plus. Therefore, Cu2 plus forms stable complexes than Cd2 plus ions. Thus, we can say that CuNH3 4 times 2 plus ion is more stable than the complex CdNH3 4 times 2 plus ion. Now, second factor is nature of the ligand. The ligands are Lewis bases since they donate pairs of electrons. By donating electrons to the central metal ion in the complex, they form coordinate bonds. Hence, greater the basic strength of the ligands, more is the tendency to donate electrons. And therefore, greater is the stability of the complex. That means, the ligands, those are stronger bases, tend to form more stable complexes. For example, COCN6 is more stable than CONH3 6 ions because here Cn minus is more basic than NH3 and hence cyano complexes of metal ion are more stable than its amine complexes. Next to this, we have to study about theories of bonding in complexes. The metal ligand bonding in coordination compounds has been described by valence bond theory, that is VBT, and crystal field theory, that is CFT. First, we will study valence bond theory. Valence bond theory is based on the concept of hybridization. The hybrid orbitals neither exist nor can be detected spectroscopically. However, these orbitals help us to describe the structure of coordination compounds. The steps involved in describing bonding in coordination compounds using valence bond theory are given as: first, metal ion provides vacant d orbitals for the formation of coordinate bonds with ligands. This is first case. Second is, the vacant d orbitals along with s and p orbitals of metal ion take part in hybridization. Third, the number of vacant hybrid orbitals formed is equal to the number of ligand donor atoms surrounding the metal, and this is equal to the coordination number of metal. Now, fourth step is, a coordinate bond is formed by the overlapping of the hybrid orbitals of the metal atom or ion with the field orbitals of the ligand. Fifth step is, the hybrid orbitals used by the ligand ion point in the direction of ligands. Next point is when inner orbitals, that is n-1 d orbital in transition metal atom or ion hybridize, then the complex is called inner complex. And when outer orbital, that is nd orbitals hybridize, then the complex is called as outer complex. Seventh step is when central metal atom or ion in the complex contains one or more unpaired electrons, then the complex is paramagnetic, while if all the electrons are paired, then the complex is diamagnetic. And the last step is type of hybridization decides the structure of the complex. Now look at the chart. This chart shows the hybridization and structure of complexes. When hybridization is sp type, it contains two ligands, then the structure is linear. If hybridization is sp2 type, it contains three ligands, then the structure is triangular or trigonal planar. If the hybridization is sp3 type with four ligands, then the geometry or shape is tetrahedral. If hybridization is of the type dsp2 with four ligands, then the structure is square planar. If hybridization is of the type dsp3 with five ligands, then the geometry or structure is trigonal bipyramidal. And if the hybridization is of the type d2sp3 or sp3d2 with six ligands, then the geometry or the structure of the complex is octahedral. Thank you.